Hi everyone, Ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome! This channel is for Japanese learners of English. Kiyomo shadowing no lesson wo yarakimashou. Listen to today's real native conversation. Focus on the rhythm and shadow along. Practice daily to master tango, bunpao, hatsuan, and rhythm. Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Zehi. Channel no toroku wo onegai shimasu. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Ever wonder how those catchy phrases from your favorite shows get stuck in your head? Turns out there's a whole world of slang used in movies and TV that can really spice up your English.
Oh, totally. It's like they're not just words, right? They're shortcuts, little codes that can make you sound like you're in the know. Especially in conversations with your friends.
Exactly. And these aren't your textbook phrases. We're talking about slang, the casual, cool language that gets passed around in daily conversations, both in and out of TV land. So where should we start?
Well, first off, it's great to start with those conversation starters that you hear all the time. Like, here's the thing. Or guess what? It's like they're setting you up for something interesting.
Yeah, like a signal, right? Here's the thing. Often precedes some truth bomb or some opinion, and then guess what is like a universal signal for gossip.
Totally. And don't forget, you know what? That can be a way to change the topic or express some mild irritation. You get it?
I bet. And then you've got those filler words, things like e-look or EO. They're kind of like the seasonings in the conversation, giving it a natural flavor.
Yeah, and it's not just about what you say first. It's also how you react, right? Like, are you kidding me or what are you talking about? It shows you're engaged, you're listening.
Oh, absolutely. And for those moments when you're completely floored, no way, it's just perfect. It shows you're super surprised. And then there's, excuse me, which can be a genuine question or a challenge.
That's right. And when you're agreeing with someone, there's that you, tell me about it. It's just a very relatable way to say, I feel you.
Oh, I use that one all the time. And then you got it for agreement and ew for when something's just plain gross. Just perfect to use with friends.
Yes. And there you are. Can be when you find someone or a little aha moment. And I read like that for a more casual thing. Sounds good. And don't forget about sounds like a plan. It's like saying, let's do it.
Exactly. And same here is just perfect for when you're totally on the same page. And then that makes sense when you're like, oh, now I get it.
Right. All of these are really so much a part of daily conversation. Now, when it comes to everyday stuff, there are some very common phrases like, wish me luck, before you step into something challenging or new.
Totally. It's like a little boost of support, right? And then it's just an expression is that great phrase when things might get too literal. And how did it go after a friend goes to a party or a date or interview? Just perfect.
That's a good one. And so is, we should do this again when things have just been a total blast.
Yeah.
And let me know is like the perfect way to end a conversation while keeping things open.
Yeah. And what about Eve heard a lot about you? That's such a great way to break the ice when you're meeting a friend of a friend.
Absolutely. And if you are totally amazed by something, that's where I can get over it is so good. And I mean it to make a point, or I'm just saying to soften an opinion.
Oh, I use that one a lot. And then that catch-all, it happens. For those days where things just don't go right. It is what it is, right?
Exactly. Now let's talk about how all these phrases also get shortened. This is like everywhere. Gotta instead of have got to. Gonna instead of going to, and you wanna instead of want to. It is so casual.
Yes, these are super common. And then gotcha or I got you means I understand. It's a very handy way to end a conversation and kind of for when things are a little bit vague, you know?
I do, and that brings us to dating. It's like a whole other level of phrases. Ask someone out to ask someone out on a date. Simple enough.
Oh, yes. And then there's what are you up to tonight? Which is like a casual way to see if someone is free. And I had a crush on you. Oh, that's like laying your heart on the table, right?
I bet. And then I have feelings for you to let someone know you're attracted to them. And then you look great for those moments when you really want to compliment someone.
And of course, the opposite when things go wrong. I got dumped when you were the one who got dumped. It's so dramatic, right?
Yeah, so many ways to express yourself when it comes to dating, I bet. Now, speaking of expressions, you notice that sometimes these expressions can really change their meaning depending on how you use them?
That is so true. Like, Are you kidding me? Can be a simple question, or it could be a challenging way of saying, are you being serious right now?
Right? And then you have, no way, which can mean surprise or disbelief, and sometimes even a strong refusal.
Exactly. And excuse me, depending on the tone, it could mean you didn't hear something, or it could mean you're about to give a piece of your mind to someone.
Oh, yes. And tell me about it is one of those subtle ways to say that, yeah, I know it, I get it. It all comes down to how you deliver it.
I totally agree. It's like you are not just learning phrases, right? You are learning how to use these phrases to express yourself better.
Oh, and let's not forget about those slightly bad boy phrases like, son of a bitch, which is more of a curse than anything. And then there is damn it, a very common way to express frustration.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. But just as common are holy shit or bullshit. Those are all quite strong words, so they really need to be used with caution.
Absolutely. It's good to understand them, but maybe not so much to use them all the time, unless you know the group or you are in the privacy of your home.
Exactly. It's like knowing how to order a coffee in different countries. You don't need to speak every language, just need to know the lingo of that place.
Yeah, it's all about knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Like pussy as a slang for cat. It's definitely one of those words that you have to be so careful with.
True. And then cool and hot, which started as slang, but now these are totally normal and very acceptable in everyday conversations.
And awesome, another one of those terms that has worked its way into everyday speech. There was a time when ustud, dopa, oba, or sick were considered to be slang, but all of these still have currency today.
Absolutely. It's like a living language constantly changing. So while you can always practice the traditional phrases, the real magic happens when you start picking up these slang expressions.
Exactly. It adds a level of personality and authenticity to your English that makes you sound way more natural and less like you're reading from a script, you know?
Totally. So dive in, watch those shows, listen closely, and don't be afraid to try out these expressions. It's the best way to get that casual English that you hear everywhere.
All right, we've finished today's lesson. How did you find it? 理解できない部分はありませんでしたか? Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Please let me know your kanso or request in the comments. ぜひチャンネルの登録をお願いします. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. See you next time. Bye bye.